I'm Any New Province, and today I'm honored to be taking out Lobert's Corrupt Control for Net Benefits, the series where we explore the benefits of net decking in Pauper. I want to start out by giving Lobert props for their top 8 in the Pauper tournament at GP Las Vegas this weekend. Congratulations on your finish. Before I break down this deck for you guys, I want to let you know that I put some links down in the description. Lobert is also a Pauper content creator. He's got a full league run of this deck, and he's also part of a fantastic podcast called Common Knowledge. So now that you guys know all about the brewer, let's break down the deck they used to top 8 that Pauper tournament. I'm going to start out with the namesake card. It's called Corrupt. It costs 5 and a black, which is super expensive, but it'll make more sense as the deck tech goes on. Corrupt deals damage to any target equal to the number of swamps you control. You gain life equal to the damage dealt this way. We're also running 4 Consume Spirit, which have a similar effect to Corrupt, but you have to tap all of that black mana if you want to get the effect of having that many swamps. Consume Spirit costs X1 black. You can pay any amount of generic mana to pay the X cost. It's a sorcery. You can only spend black mana on X, and Consume Spirit deals X damage to any target and you gain X life. This next spell acts as an additional buffer for our life total and kind of does a Corrupt impression, even though it can only target your opponent's creatures. This is Tendrils of Corruption. It costs 3 black for an instant, and it deals X damage to target creature and you gain X life, where X is the number of swamps you control. Even though your Corrupts and your Consume Spirits and your Tendrils of Corruption act as interaction when you need them to, we're also running a lot more black removal just in case our opponent's creatures get out of hand. First, we have Evankar's Justice, which costs 2 black for a sorcery, and it has buyback 3, which means you may pay an additional 3 generic mana as you cast this spell. If you do, put this card into your hand as it resolves. Evankar's Justice deals 2 damage to each creature and each player. This card is heralded as one of the only true Pauper board wipes, and the fact that you can continuously cast it is incredibly powerful. We're also running Pestilence as interaction, but also as an alternate win condition if we can get our life total higher than our opponents. Pestilence costs 2 black for an enchantment, and at the beginning of your end step, if no creatures are on the battlefield, sacrifice Pestilence. Its ability is pay 1 black, Pestilence deals 1 damage to each creature and each player. The rest of our interaction come in the shape of edicts. They're called that because of this namesake card, Chainer's Edict. It costs 1 and a black for a sorcery that causes target player to sacrifice a creature. This is pretty good on the front end, but you can also flash it back for 5 black, which means you can cast this card from your graveyard for its flashback cost, then exile it. Chainer's Edict is great in any somewhat slow black deck because you can almost always leverage it into being a 2-for-1. This next edict is a bit harder to make into a 2-for-1, but it can get your opponent's rancors if you time it right. It's called Geth's Verdict. It costs black for an instant, and it makes target player sacrifice a creature and lose a life. See, it's proactive to our black burn plan as well. I mean, it's like pretty much a needle drop. While we are running 8 copies of a win condition that requires a ton of black mana, we may not always find them, and for that reason, we're running some card advantage. First, we have Sign in Blood. It costs black for a sorcery that allows target player to draw 2 cards and lose 2 life. I think my favorite mode on Sign in Blood in this deck is the Black Shock mode. Maybe we buffered our opponent's life total with a Geth's Verdict and a Pestilence, and then we kill them by Sign in Blooding them. Our other card advantage spell is Read the Bones. You scry 2, then draw 2 cards, and then lose 2 life for 2 and a black at sorcery speed. Sign in Blood is a little bit too slow or too risky for some decks to run, but this one does it expertly. We gain a ton of life off of our other interaction, and this helps us dig to our next black fireball to finish the game off. The last package in this deck is super spicy. It's a mono black ramp package, and it starts off with Pristine Talisman. Pristine Talisman costs 3 generic mana for an artifact that you can tap to add a colorless mana and gain a life. This is awesome for buffering our life total when we're trying to ping our opponents out with a Pestilence. We're also running 4 Wayfarer's Baubles. They cost 1 generic mana for an artifact that you can pay 2, tap, and sacrifice to search your library for a basic land card and put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. I've played a few ramp decks in my day, so I know just how anemic it can feel to tap out for a 3 mana ramp spell on turn 3. However, when you do ramp up to that massive threat and cast it, it feels wicked. Alright, let's have a look at this mana base. We're just running 23 basic swamps. Lots of basic swamps to come in untapped and hit our 6th mana on time to cast a Corrupt. All right, let's have a look at this sideboard, and I'm going to start out by explaining Lobert, being the nice dude that he is, posted his deck list in the Paupers subreddit today. However, when I spoke with him about the deck, he said that I should sub out a few cards for some disfigures, so that's why it's different than the list in the subreddit. I'll start off with those disfigures. They're so awesome against decks that can get off the ground too quickly. You can kill that important mana dork out of elves or kill a spell stutter sprite before it counters your spell. We're also running 2 Relic of Progenituses to control the graveyards of other slow decks. We're running 4 Choking Sands for burning up Tron lands or doing something about our opponent's bounce lands. We have 2 Shrivels if our opponent is going crazy with X1s. We have 3 Doomblades as just catch-all removal spells, and we have a single Duress for picking something out of our opponent's hand that we can't deal with removal. And there it is, Corrupt Control by Lobert. Congratulations again on your finish in the tournament. I can't wait to take this deck out live into a league at twitch.tv/AnyNewProvince. We're there every Monday night playing competitive Pauper decks. Before I go, I just want to remind you that you can like the video or subscribe to the channel down below. I'd seriously appreciate it. It's a great way to let me know you've enjoyed everything, and it really encourages me to keep making great Pauper content. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this deck tech, and hopefully I'll see you on Monday nights.